Welcome, everybody, to the 10th episode of the Pound's Tales podcast. Tonight, unfortunately, it's just me tonight. The Anchor app decided to have a little flaw tonight, and we're unable to actually get Dylan and Daniel to join us tonight. So, tonight it'll just be me flying solo, so I'm going to try to keep everybody as entertained as I can by myself. I believe we talked about waiting until tomorrow night, but I think a lot of people like waiting or like hearing these podcasts on the way to work on hump day, so we didn't want to disappoint. I'm hoping I can keep this thing going and flowing good by myself. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that we did this weekend, especially for me. The original idea behind this episode was we were going to talk about judging a field trial, but I really wanted them to be included in that, or we wanted it to all be in on that one. So they just come back. Daniel and Dylan both were at Turpin's Creek this weekend for the Churchill Hunting Club hunt, and they got their first taste of judging this weekend, and I think they really, really enjoyed it. So next week we'll be talking about judging to not keep anybody in the clouds or in the shadows on that. So. But me personally, I was down at Pools again this weekend, and for the Maryland State Fox Hunters Association 3-day. This was my first 3-day, actually. Well, I take that back. I went to one last year with this saber dog of mine, and I was able to. He was a derby dog at that time. I put him in there, and I wasn't really prepared. Neither was he. I hadn't put enough work in, so I kind of take that one as let's just see how we get down there and see if we get lucky and maybe make it to day 2. And we made it to day 2 that weekend, but we got scratched with just a little bit left in the hunt. But I don't really consider that one my first multi-day event. This one I took a little more serious, had a little more time to prep. I knew that I was going. The last one was kind of a spur of the moment. Let's just wing it and see what happens. I think somebody actually talked me into it or had an extra number, and I went with them. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but for the one last year. But this year, we knew we were going. We knew that we were going to take some dogs, and me and Dylan both prepped for this hunt and got excited for it. And Dylan wasn't able to go. His son's birthday party was this weekend, and he had some family coming in, so he was not going to be able to make it, and plus they had this other hunt that they were asked to help judge. So that was cool for them to be able to get in there and judge. So, but I believe for this episode, I'm really going to focus on the 3-day and kind of talk about this weekend, talk about how everything went, and talk about a little bit of the differences between the 1 and the 3 days on how you train your dog and kind of how you prep your dog. And now, before I really get started, I am no expert in this. I learned a ton this week. I was down there from the get-go with my buddy Dennis Scott. We were down there, and he took some dogs, and he had one dog sitting third going into day 2 in the Derby class, and that dog ended up getting scratched in day 2. But strong dog. No take backs on that for sure. I hope I'm not embarrassing nobody saying, that the dog got scratched, but it happens. It's one of the things that happens, and next week in our judging, we'll kind of go over what the scratching is and what all that entails for those that don't know. But so anyway, kind of continuing forward with what we're for this episode. This weekend, I had an absolute blast. I really, really, really enjoyed this weekend. I've been to probably a dozen 1-days now. Like I said, in this whole field trial thing, I'm no expert at any of this, but I found such a passion for it. I really wanted to promote it. That's why we did this podcast. So again, I'm no expert. A lot of people have been into it a lot longer than I have, but anyway. After doing these 1-days, and really I do enjoy a 1-day. It's it's fun to go down there and compete for a day and come on back home and get to say, hey, I placed, or I was the top 10 out of 100 and something dogs down there, 200 and something dogs, it's a blast. But this 3 day, man, it's a whole new world. It is just, it is wild. It really is. If you're into the 1 day things and really want to challenge and really want to get to go down there and have fun and meet people, and that this is where you got to do it. The 3 days, it seems like that's where it's at. And I guess I'll kind of work into that a little bit right there with the camaraderie. We always talk about this being such a fun sport, and you meet a lot of nice people and a lot of cool people. This weekend I was down there, and me and Dennis were just kind of sitting in the truck BSing around and listening to the chases going on, and Mr. Billy Poole himself pulled up beside us, and we talked to that man for 2 hours easily, just telling stories and talking about the pen and how it runs now and how it used to run and how different things are back when they first got started, and what he would love to see the future come with the pens. And he was just a really down-to-earth, cool guy to talk to. And if Dennis wouldn't have told me, I never would have known that was the owner of the pen. Never would have known. It was just cool to sit down and just talk to somebody like that. And so you never know who you're going to meet at these things. My buddies, MJ Hamlin and Robert Mann, were down there, and I got to chill and hang out with them a whole lot this weekend and really get to know them a whole lot better. I mean, I've known them my whole life, but you get around somebody for 3 days in a competitive environment and a relaxed environment at the same time. You really get to see and how do I say this? You really get to experience that person a whole lot more. And that was really cool. I got to meet old fella named Jay Bird down there, and I really enjoyed being around him. That dude's a trip. He's fun to be around. And countless other people. I got to chit chat with Missy down there that put on the hunt. She helps run the Maryland State Fox Hunters Association, and it was cool to just sit around and talk with her. I got some little bit of apparel from her for the association, and Big Tim, the cook down there, he's also a preacher, and he did a Sunday service, and that was cool. And the man can preach. Good gosh, the man can preach. He did a beautiful sermon right in the middle of the award stands. I mean, it was just cool. It's one of those things, and not to get all religious on everybody, but it was one of those things that you never know where you could have church, and it was really cool to just. They're starting a Fox Hunters for Christ organization. I believe that's what it's called. I didn't write it down, so it kind of slipped the top of my head there. So. But they're starting that, and he's one of the head people over it, and they raised a little over, I think, $1,000 this weekend from all the hunters down there, and to help them get this thing started. And they're going to end up helping out less fortunate around the area, around the Emporia area. And I know Missy had said that one of the things that she really wanted to focus on was during Christmas, the kids that can't have a Christmas and are a little less fortunate and aren't able to really get the presents and stuff like that, and also that don't know the true meaning behind Christmas. They really want to promote that and help these kids out and really shine a positive light on these guys' lives. So I really hope this thing takes off for them, and I hope it goes far. The Hound's Tales podcast crew has agreed to work with them and help promote them as much as possible. So once that gets started, and I think they're going to start a Facebook page soon, and I think they're getting all their ducks in a row on trying to get everything set. But once that all comes to pass, we'll definitely be promoting that a whole lot more. And Missy and Big Tim, I hope y'all I hope y'all rock and roll with this thing. So that's pretty cool. I know for all the 3 days they're going to start doing a service every Sunday. So anybody going down there for the 3 days, I believe the Tidewater's the next 3 day down there at pools. Y'all be sure to join in. I think we had a crowd of on the last day. I think we had probably 30 or 40 people in there. Mr. Billy Poole himself and Demo were down there, and they joined in on the service, and it was really, really, really nice to see. But more back into the 3 day thing. Starting out, getting down there, the first day is about like a normal one day. You're really at least getting started. You get down there. Well, we got down there the night before. They did a check-in the night before. I think some people might have checked in the morning of. I can't remember, but anyway, you get down there. You get your dog prepped. Get him ready, and they shoot down the chute. And 5 hours later, you go get your dog back up. Now, in your one day, obviously that's it. You sit around the pen and listen to the running for 5 hours, listen to what's going on, whether they're running or hunting or whatever it is. That goes on, and then you can take your time and leisurely get everything up, and an hour and a half, 2 hours later, after the scores are tallied and everybody's ate some lunch and got one of them good steak and cheese sandwiches down there, that's it. You find out who won and you go home. This 3 day, that's where the work begins. And I tell you what, I thought going down there I was prepared. I really, really, really thought that I was prepared. I was not. In a lot of ways. One day as I go, I take my time getting in. I don't rush to get in there. There's no point in fighting the crowd. The dogs are in there. They're not going nowhere in the wire. There's no reason to rush in. Let them keep doing what they love to do, and let them keep on digging. This 3 day, the way I've always been taught, and it's definitely the way it is, every minute that dog is in that pen is more wear and tear on him. It's less time. How do I put this? It's more time on the body that could be used and while he's actually being judged. So it's very important to get down there and get him as fast as you can. Then when you catch your dog, catch all of them, however many you bring. I brought two. My little female rogue, she got scratched early. I believe this was her first multi-day event in her life, and the running had kind of broke down a little bit. So there was a lot of hunting going on, and I think she was a little out of her element, and I'm not going to try to make a whole lot of excuses for her, but she ended up coming back to the gate, and she got scratched. So no fault to her. She wasn't ready. She's still getting used to me. I just wanted to see what would happen with her, and I really wanted to bench her, but I did try to bench her, but she was out of her element, and she didn't make the top 10. So she lives to fight another day. That's positive outlook on that one. But anyway, after that, I've made it a little bit easier on me. But we had Dylan's dog down there, and he was a derby dog, so I had to catch him, get him and Saber both up. Wishbone and Saber, got them both up. And luckily, those two dogs are really easy to handle. Very easy to handle, so I think I might have been in there for 30 minutes trying to catch them. Just between traffic and watching out for other dogs and stuff like that. And keeping them up on GPS. But anyway, we got them back, got them in, and I didn't know a whole lot about this 3-day thing, and I kind of kicked back, and I gave them some good water and put some Go powder in it. It's an all natural powder that we use, and it's you mix it in your water. It's nothing but vitamins and minerals to help replenish their hydration systems and stuff like that. And to me, that's going down there, not really understanding the whole concept. I'm like, okay, that's it. He's good. He's got 10 hours, 12 hours of rest after this now, so he'll rest up. We got him on the cedar chips or on the wood chips, and he'll be good to go come morning. So kind of skipping around a little bit, go into day 2, and he does good. The running's a little bit better, and it run for most of that day. It really did. It ran really good, and he'd come back, and I look at old boy, and he's wore. He's sore. I'm like, all right, buddy, you got one more day in you. Well, Dennis was done after that day, so Dennis dog, like I said, that's a strong dog, and I'm pretty sure if he wouldn't have got scratched, he probably would have placed. He was sitting third going into day 2, so. But anyway, Dennis he packed up his stuff and went on home, and I was there for the second night and going into the third day, and MJ and Robert called me over, and they're like, what are you doing over there by yourself anymore? They're like, come on, just come chill and hang with us. I'm like, well, I'm not going to turn that opportunity down. So I come over there, and I'll tell you what, I was very, very humbled. Them 2 guys showed me the ropes for this third day prep, and I tell you what, they helped me out a ton, and I cannot thank them enough. They really did a lot and asked nothing in return. We just sat over there and shot the bull the whole night. But getting that dog prepped, I mean, those guys, they were just in a rhythm, and they just had these little odd end tricks like a muscle rub that they put on them, and it rubbed the muscles down in the legs and on the back, and it helped ease the tension and relax their muscles and stuff like that. And you could really tell it made a difference. Like, and I'll get into the third day, but you could tell. I mean, it just, once they put it on him, it looks like he chilled. He just relaxed. It's like, okay, well, we got to remember that one for later down the road. Then they had some foot ointment that they put on them, and if there's any dirt or sand or thorns or any kind of debris that might have been under the nails or in the foot, in the pads or something like that, it extracts all that stuff. It helps pull it out, and then it's like a lotion that it helps ease their, soothe their feet. And they're like, here, use it, blah blah blah, here, whatever you need. I'm like, gosh, I don't want to use all you guys' stuff, I'm sure none of this stuff is cheap, but hey, they were just as ready and willing to help that dog just like it was their own. Well, funny story, I actually bought that dog from MJ, so I think he enjoyed having that dog kind of back over there by the kennels and seeing what he was doing. But my hat's off to them. They just, and they showed me things to help prep and keep him moving, and not necessarily keep him moving, but things to help him going into that third day that I wouldn't have thought of, that I didn't bring, that I didn't do and wasn't prepared for. But I tell you what, when I woke up the next morning, and the third day is really cool, and I'm going to get into this after this, but that dog, I hooked him up to his leash and took him out for the cast, and I thought he was going to rip my shoulders out. I absolutely thought he was going to rip my shoulders out. It was just insane. That dog was strong as an ox the next morning. I was like, oh my gosh, man. So I can't thank them enough for what they did and showed me a lot. So I myself feel a lot more mentally prepared for the next time. The next time I do a 3-day. And I feel like a lot of those tricks you could really kind of help prep them for a 1-day. It may be one of those things that maybe it might give us that little bit of edge that we've been needing and wanting to get our dogs up front and in the win column instead of in the placing column. So That'll be one of the things I'm kind of interested to see in carrying forward that we can use. But the third day, and everybody always told me this, that if you make it to day three, the cast in the morning is the coolest part. It's really, you gotta. I put it to you this way: you go down there. There were three. No, I'm sorry, 288 dogs down there at the first day on cast. After the second day, obviously you lose about 50% of them. So you're looking. I think they had 180 all age dogs. So 120 dogs after the second day are automatically gone. At the end of day two, I would be willing to say there was 40 to 50. Probably 40. I'd say 40 scratches in the all age column. And then a lot of people with if their dog goes into day three with a dot is 0 points for those that are listening with the terminology. If they go into day, if they go in, I'm sorry, if they end day two with a dot, a lot of people go home. I told myself if Saber didn't put up any points, that I was going home at the end of day two. But old boy pulled some points out of his butt and was able to keep us alive and keep us in the fight for day three. So making it to day three is a class act. It is your dog was here this weekend. Your dog showed up. They really make you feel. It makes you feel good about what you've done. You've raised your dog good enough to be able to make it through 2 days of running, and at least have a chance to make it through three. So it was really it was an honor to take this dog that I've had for a couple months now, roughly 6 months now, 6 7 months maybe. Anyway, it was an honor to be able to take this dog and put him and get him to the 3 day shape. It really was. And MJ, when I bought this dog from MJ, the dog had an injury that happened to him. It was a muscle injury. It was just the dog was running really hard. Sometimes it's one of those things that happen, you know. And it can happen to any dog. It can happen to a house dog running around the house too fast. So it wasn't anything abusive. It wasn't anything wrong that they were doing. The dog just happened to move wrong, and it pulled a muscle. And the truth is, a lot of times after an injury, especially a muscle injury like that, it's very hard for a dog to come back and be able to run hard and can compete. And you can still see it today with this dog that I had, the Saber dog that I got from him. You can see a mentality in his head that it's taken. He's slowly getting back to where he believes that he can push himself, and he can run and get in there and last for a long time. And that was the reason that MJ had sold it to me. It wasn't that he was a bad dog. He wasn't sure that the dog was going to make it for 3 days, and he knew I was getting into it, and one day a whole lot. So that was how that deal went down, and I can't thank him enough for giving me the opportunity to own this dog. So it was cool being able to be there with them and having that dog on the leash. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, I reckon, there. Third day is different than day one and day two. Day one and day two, everybody's in the holding pens, and they let them out to shoot, and they all run down to shoot all the dogs, like a normal one day. The third day, everybody puts their dogs on leashes. You walk your dog out there, you have him on a leash, you check him in with the judge. The judge, the master of hounds, he gives a big speech. The master of hounds is the head judge of the hunt. He's the one that makes the final decision, and he's the one that kind of enforces rules that yes, no, that's right, that's not right, there's points differences, blah blah blah. Anyway, he gives a big speech, and unfortunately I was a little too far back walking in that I didn't get to hear the speech. So, but he pretty much tells everybody congratulations for making it to day 3, and thanks everybody for coming. Appreciates the hard work that everybody's put in, and this and that, blah blah blah. So after all that, everybody's out there. They're in front of the pen. They're in the pen right there with everything get ready to happen. And he tells everybody, he's like, all right, let's see, it was 6:30 when we cast. He said 6:29. Everybody, remove your leashes, and then 30 seconds later, when it flips to 6:30, release the hounds, and everybody turns the dogs loose, and all the dogs go in there, and they're just buzzing by you, and you're just right in there in the mix of everything, and it was such a cool little feeling to be right there in there with them, and be able to do that. So that was cool. That was my first experience. I probably sound like a little kid in a candy store, but I thought that was one of the coolest parts of the weekend. But and then the rest of the hunt goes on, and then you got that anticipation. Well, you got the anticipation of, all right, did my dog put up enough points in the last day? Did blah blah blah. Because the third day is a whole new day. You don't know. You're losing a lot of other competition. You're losing a lot of other dogs that could be either messing you up or distracting your dog from doing other things. So your whole mind thought process is like, okay, what do we do? What do we do? Unfortunately for me, I did get scratched. My boy got caught loafing with about 30 minutes left. It was a little hot that day, and I think he took a little dip in the creek, and because he was wet when I got him, so I think he might have cooled himself off for just a little too long, and he got caught. So, but excuse me, going into that third day was just a wild experience, and to all the hound hunters out there and all the fox pen guys out there, if you've never gotten to experience that, you really ought to try it. You really ought to try it. I know it's hard. It's not easy. I'm lucky. I work 4/10, so my job, it's a whole lot easier. I can, once the fourth day, once Thursday's work is over, I can run home, jump in the truck, load the dog up, and hit the road out of mode. Let's go. And we take off down to the pen, and I don't have to. I've worked my 40. So I understand it's hard for some people to get down there and on that first day. And I told MJ he was crazy as heck because he had to work Friday, but he had to paint dogs. So he drove all the way down there with Robert and painted dogs Thursday night and drove all the way back home, worked Friday, and then come on back Friday night. Power to you, buddy. I can't do it. It's too much for me. But besides the running, like I kind of talked on at the beginning, you never know who you're going to run into. I hadn't, other than I've talked to MJ a little bit and hanging out with, I see him during hunting season. We have the 2 hunting clubs we're a part of. It's conjoined land, and we see each other every now and then. But we're, it's deer season. We're in a hurry. We ain't got time for that. And also, while I'm on him, congratulations. They are expecting. So if y'all haven't seen it, and everybody knows my buddy MJ, y'all shoot him a message and tell him congratulations. So, and I got to meet his wife for the first time this weekend. She was a pleasure to be around too. So, but along with that, my buddy Robert, man, I've known Robert and his wife Chelsea since I was in high school, and we always used to shoot the bull together and goof off and stuff like that. And it was cool to be around them two again, and almost kind of like old times kind of stuff, back in the days of the parking lot sitting at Kroger out in the middle of nowhere. That small town fun times, I reckon is what you call it. But after all the commotion of prepping dogs, get your dogs back up, painting them again for the next day, and and making sure they're healthy, checking them over, getting them rested, cleaning out the lights, blah blah blah, doing this. You get done, you've had a full day, and everybody just sits back and. I know. Day two, in the day two, we went to a little restaurant called Faux Shows. Everybody always talked about faux shows going down there. Oh, that's all I heard. Faux shows this, faux shows that. And I tell you what, after going there, I'm about some faux shows. That little place was good. Had some good food. Got some wings down there. Got the boom boom sauce, which I got talked into. And I had a good time. We all sat back, drank a few beers, went to the hotel, shot the bull. And it was just, it was so much fun. It's if anybody out there enjoys camping, imagine camping with good friends that have the same um how do I say it, same hobby as you, and in a competitive field. It is fun, fun, fun. But unfortunately, nobody down there that we were with put ourselves on the tables today or this weekend. So even though we didn't bring any hardware home and didn't bring nothing to show for it, but we had a good time. Actually, I take that back. I want to say Robert's dog was second highest hunting score, I believe, second or third, and he was able to bring some dog food back for that one. So anyway, that's kind of a quick little gist of a 3 day. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of prep, and I think we talked about it before on the episode, maybe with Dennis. These 3 days, it's not easy on a dog. It's not. You gotta train. You can't expect to take a dog that you run 5 hours once a week down to a 3 day, and he's not going to go lay down somewhere on the third day, or if he makes it that far. You gotta get him right. The 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 preparations. I'll put it to you this way. I think I ran mine for 25 hours 2 weeks before that hunt. I knew if that dog could go 25 hours, and it was not all at one time. So please don't get that misconstrued. Anybody out there listening? But in that 2 weeks before that, he had ran for 25 hours within a week's period. So I had a good idea that he was going to be able to make it, but he come up a little bit short. But the prep for a dog is different. You know, for one day you can prep a dog. He needs to go full throttle as fast as he can for 5 hours and stay true. 5 hour hunt, that dog has to be able to either A, do that for 15 hours in 3 days, or B, pace himself for those 15 hours to be able to make it all the way through. So it's a lot of differences in there. So um, and I think me by myself talking today. That's what I can think of. I've kind of took a few little notes to write down and jotted a few things down. So I hope everybody kind of enjoyed that little section. I'm sorry that I'm by myself tonight, and I hope that whatever's going on with this app can get fixed by next week, and we can bring the judging show to y'all. That one's gonna be a fun one. Kind of little pre into, I guess you'd call it. If you've never judged before, you ought to get in there and do it. It's a blast. It really is. So I knew that today's episode and next week's episode, bouncing between these two, was going to be a lot of fun. But guys out there that have suggested ideas on topics, we're not ignoring you. I promise. We are working on it. We've had some things that have come up that really sparked us, and we had a fuel for to talk about, and these two were one of them. So after the following week, I think we're going to kind of touch on some of the stuff that has been requested to talk about a little bit more. So, and I appreciate everybody listening still. So before I forget, my buddy Shorty, Clayton Baker, I owe him an apology, apparently. I talk about my Saber dog all the time. on here. And he called me the other week and reminded me that I was going to sell that dog back in hunting season. That I was upset with him and I was going to get rid of him. And he told me not to get rid of him. That dog is going to do something for me and make something and make me happy. And what do you know? He comes and places 3 times in his first 3 hunts this year. So, thank you, Shorty, for talking me into doing it. And if my wife ends up listening to this, she also did the same thing. So, thank you, honey. I love you. Anyway, no, Shorty gave me a call the other day and give me a hard time about it. He said, you ought to at least give me a shout out on your podcast. So, Clayton Shorty Baker, thank you, sir. I appreciate the encouragement. So, anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm going to get into the hunts and results here now. We skipped last week, so I will go over like the week before and this past weekend. So we got quite a few to go over, so y'all bear with me. I'm going to try to do these the best I can. We'll start off with pools. The United Eastern All-Asian Derby Hunt was April 10th. The Derby class, it took 215 points to win, and your winner was Noel's Winston. That dog's out of Showtime Pretty Boy and Showtime Coco from Showtime's Kennels. Second place was Special K's Tex out of Special K Kennels. And third place was Jinx Dot out of Jinx and News Kennels. Jinx and News been putting on a heck of a show down there this year. They, I know their one Derby dog, Speckles, was really looking good this year, and this Dot dog has come on a strong suit here at the end. So, Jinx and you, congratulations. We talked to y'all a little bit down there too. So that was I like seeing y'all placing up there. Anyway, the all age took 185 to win, and Old School Kennels brought out old Faithful on everybody, and the Tidewater Field and Derby champions Old School Pongo pulled it through for him. That dog's out of Cox's Howard and Rose's Lillian. Second place was Sandman out of Old School Kennels, so they took 1 and 2 down there. And then third place was Parker's Hollywood out of Tobacco Money Kennels. April 10th, another one of the hunts in the SRHA Championship Series was at Bay City. Your first place dog down there was Slow and Steady Sky out of Champions No Pity Jigsaw and Moore's Martha out of Slow and Steady Kennels. Second place was Ryan's River. The owner of that dog was Ryan Lewis. Third place was Knockouts Easy out of Double Take Kennel. Also on April 10th, Long Pond had a puppy hunt. That hunt took 1,780 points to win. First place dog down there was a dog called Flirt. She's out of Shirley's Luke and Lacey. Middle Pond Mafia is the owner of that dog. Second place is Chase, and the name was given for the owner of the kennel was Forrest. And third place was a dog called Fleetwood out of Ivy Bluff Mafia. JJ's Fox Preserve on April 10th had a hunt down there. 2,390 points to win, so that pen must have been absolutely screaming. Ruby was your first place dog. The dog's out of B&B's Chill and Smith's Jet. Marcus Futrelli. Sorry, buddy. Their last name's hard. Futrell? Futrelli? Anyway, buddy, I'm sorry. I probably screwed that all up, and I'm probably getting laughed at all over the place right now. Anyway, that's your owner of that dog. He's also the owner of the third place dog, and I'm not even going to try to say it. So, second place is Bedrock's Mocha out of Bedrock Kennel, and the third place dog was called Red Bull. April 10th, TNS Fox Preserve had a benefit hunt for the Calling on Faith Outdoors organization. The Derby took 745 points to win, and the winner was Sugar Daddy. The dog's out of Jasmine's Under Armour and Scott's Kit Kat out of Raceline Kennels. Second place dog was Text Message out of Gone Wide Kennels, and Gone Wide Kennels also brought it home third with a dog named Cloudy. All age took 1,085 points to win with a dog named Tank. That dog's out of Finch's Black Rock and Finch's Strawberry. Owner of that dog is Ethan Smith. Second place is BM Sweet Pea. Brandon Morris is the owner of that dog. And third place is Cobra out of Raceline Kennels. Moving into this past weekend, and there was a ton of hunts. I don't know how the East Coast even has woods left. They were burning up the woods this weekend. K&N had a hunt that took 1,620 points to win. RJ's Blondie was your first place dog. Dog's out of Lock On Copper. And RJ's Hyper. Jones Boys Kennels. Second place was a dog named Ranger from Collation Kennels. And third place was Mercer's Tiny Cake out of J&R Kennels. J&J Fox Preserve had a puppy hunt that took 875 points to win. 870 points to win. First place dog was Forest Creek Smooth out of Forest Creek Hancock and Rex's Rose, Forest Creek Kennels. Second place dog, I like this, Choo Choo. That's the name of the dog, Choo Choo, out of Never Forgotten Kennels. Third place is Forest Creek Mellow Yellow from Forest Creek Kennels. Next up, Round O Fox Run hosted the fifth hunt of the SHRA Money Hunt Series. Shake and Bake's Sally was your winner down there. Out of Crisco's Charlie and Shake and Bake's Little Star. J.W. Roberts is the owner of that dog. Tart's Peckerwood, it was your second place dog from Tart Crisco and Garner. Third place was Schuler's Herman out of Hellhole Swamp Kennels. Poor Boys Fox Preserve had a puppy hunt. It took 885 points to win. The first place dog's name was Jelly Roll. There was no breed given on this dog, but it's out of Howell's Run Kennels. Second place was Finch's Sweet Pea out of Finchtown Kennels. And third place was Double J's Rita out of Double J's Kennels. The Kinston first OFWB hunt at Triple B was this weekend. The Derby, I didn't see the scores on that one. I didn't write them down, at least, if there was on there. The first place dog was Daniel's Paisley. The dog's out of Norman's Barney and White's Tweet from Daniel's Salisi. I believe is how you say his name, Salisi. Second place is Patterson's Cracker Jack out of Patterson and Sons Kennels. And third place is S. King's Hugh out of King Inc. All age, Heart's Bell C was your winner. The dog's out of Crisco's Charlie and B3 Ivy out of Maple Road Kennels. Second place was Mayready's Eleanor from Brandon Mayready. And third place was Fancy's LR. Larry Rose is Rouse is the owner of that dog. Tally-Ho Fox Band had a two-class puppy hunt. The younger class took 895 points to win. D&D's Oreo out of Southern Amacat and Southern Cracker out of D&D Kennels was the winner. D&D's Sock also brought it home second out of D&D Kennels. And Horseshoe's Diesel out of Horseshoe Kennels was your third place hound. Older class took 865 points to win. Hester Boys Deacon out of Southern Preacher and Southern Heat from Hester Boys Kennels was your winner. I believe that dog's placed a few times. I remember that name this year, so congrats to him again. HWG's Deacon from Here We Go Kennels was second, and HWG's Hank from Here We Go Kennels was third. They had a pretty good weekend down there. Flower Hill Fox Pen had a two-class puppy hunt. The younger class took 800 points to win, and that dog's name was Angel out of Homegrown Rock and JB Squeak from Homegrown Kennels. Second place, and this dog has happened before, is Ghost out of White Top Kennels. I think that's Dylan's alter ego down there. Third place is Cherokee. The dog's out of Turbo and Toothpick Kennels. The older class took 945 points to win, and that dog's name was Doc's Purdy Timbo. He's out of B&B Steady and Doc's Purdy Brundle out of Doc Purdy Kennels. Second place was Stink Tiger from Doc Purdy Kennels. And third place was Shoe Hill Swamp Reba from Shoe Hill Swamp Kennels. Next up, Grassy Branch Fox Preserve had a 2-class puppy hunt. The young class took 1,065 points to win. Harris Swamp Clip was the winner, and he is out of Harris Swamp's Gunner and Harris Swamp's Blueberry from Harris Swamp Kennels. Second place was Hancock Slide from David Hancock. Third place was Harris Swan Trigger out of Harris Swamp Kennels. Older class took 905 points to win. HTPK's Skeptic was the winner, and he's out of HTPK's Slipknot and Harris Swamp's Lemonade. Hail to Pay Kennels. I like that. Running Guns Daisy out of Wicked East Kennels was second, and White A&S Trouble out of White Boys Kennels was third. The Tri-County Coyote Preserve had a puppy hunt this weekend, 785 points to win. Salem Church Pinky out of T-Bird's Ben and DWI's Gypsy from Salem Church Kennels was your winner. Run and Gun Diamond brought it home second. The dog's out of Wicked Fast Kennels, and Salem Church Anna out of Salem Church Kennels was third. Another little quick shout out, my friends Jason and Olivia out of Moonlight Kennels had their dog down there, Sassy, and she was fifth down there. So congrats to y'all. I think that's maybe y'all's first placement this year, first or second. So either way, it don't matter. Congratulations to y'all. So glad y'all were able to make the drive down there and bring something home with you. So the Lima Rope Fox Preserve had a puppy hunt. First place was Foxy out of M&M Blade and Belly Up Little Foxy, DWA Kennels. Second place was Lucille from Rollover Creek Kennels. Third place was Powerball. Alex Kennedy was the owner of that dog. The Churchill Hunt Club at Turpin's Creek, this is where Dylan and Daniel were down judging. First place was Tippy. The dog's out of Icon and Be Strong Crybaby from Baybush Kennels. Second place was RS&T Sportster, RS&T Kennels. Third place was Tormy's Blackjack. The dog's out of the Fast Five. Young class took 670 points to win. Latina was your winner down there in the younger class. The dog's out of Spears Mountain Sergeant, and MLH's Little Athena Davis Kennel was their owner down there. The littermate to that dog, 2 Cent, was second place, same owner. And T&W's Chrome 2 from Certified Steppos was your second place dog. And last but not least, the Maryland State Fox Hunter Association had their hunt this weekend at Pools, the Derby. Let's see, Opie's Venom was your winner down there for the Derby class. Champions Broke Right Assassin and champions Opie's Duchess are the parents of that dog out of Opie's Kennels. He is also your combination winner. Second place goes to Ringo. That dog is out of Champions Wisnuts Jimmy B and Champions Quick Catch Chloe out of Old School Kennels. Third place was Good Times LJ. The dog's out of Front Rows Jim and PNC's Blondie out of Good Time Kennels. Any 3-day that we do from here on, and we'll start doing the top 3 and giving the breedings for all 3. The all age old Opie Kennels brought it home again. He had a heck of a weekend down there. I think he needed a dump truck to carry all the dog food and trophies back. So, but Opie's Lucy was the dog that brought it home into all age out of Opie's Blake and Lucy in the Sky. Second place was Bennett's Bonnie. The dog's out of Spears Mountain Sergeant and Atkins May from Dwayne and DJ Bennett. Third place was Cruz's Redbird out of GW's Rusty and Cruz's Squirt. Cruz Wilson, Mark Meadows, and Bill Moore are the owners of that dog. The combination winner was also your Southern Classic Open champion, Old School Viper, out of champion Wisnuts Jimmy B and champion B&B's Pearl out of Old School Kennels. So there's all the results from this weekend. Again, I do apologize that I was alone. We'll do a quick gist of the hunts coming up. Let's see. Meant to mark through that one. Excuse me. Let's see. Foxtail, the Jamesville Hunting Club is having their Derby and All Age hunt this weekend coming up. Sandy Ridge Fox Preserve is having a church benefit hunt, puppy hunt on April the 24th. Piedmont Training Preserves having the Gals versus Gals hunt. It's an all-age speed and drive hunt on April the 24th. Bay Bush is having a May and Under on April the 24th, and also May 8th is having a Judge Puppy Hunt. Let's see here. Pools Fox Preserves. The Dundas Hunting Club is having their hunt this weekend on the 24th. The following weekend, Tatum Road Hunting Club on May 1st. Then I believe they have a quick break, and then it goes to the 50th Annual Virginia International Foxhound Club is having their hunt on May 15th. Red Oak Hunt Club is having their hunt there on May 22nd. And then the Tidewater Fox Hunters Association having their 3-day on May 29th to the 31st. There's your month for pools. Let me see. Tar River Fox Preserve. The West Virginia State Hunt is coming up here pretty soon. It's a 3-day hunt, April 29th through May 2nd. After that, the Mecklenburg County is having a 1-day on the 8th at Tar River. And then the James River Fox Hunters Association is having their 3-day on May 28th through the 31st. The Midwest Masters Country Corner Fox Pen in Ralston, Arizona, I believe that's where that's at, is having their hunt on April 29th through May 1st. This one's a cool hunt. I wish I had something powerful enough to go to it. I really do. Maybe next year. 95 Fox Run is having a Garmin hunt. It's on July 17th. The prizes are insane. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, first place gets a brand new Alpha 200 combo with 9 collars and a drive track, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but it's, if you haven't found that hunt yet on Facebook or Speed Dogs, go look it up. It looks insane. Bushy Tail Fox Preserves having a May and Under hunt on May the 9th. Foxtail has the hunt this weekend coming up. Then they also have a buddy hunt on May the 1st. Chris, call me. I need some numbers, buddy. I need some numbers. And then the following weekend after that, they're having a Judge Garmin hunt on May the 8th. Redgate is having a 2-class puppy hunt on May 1st. Needmore Fox Pen is having a puppy hunt on May the 15th. Poor Boys Fox Preserve is having a puppy hunt on May the 1st. Round O Fox Run is having a Young Derby and puppy hunt on May the 1st. And May 22nd is having an open speed and drive. Flower Hill Fox Pen is having their 2-class puppy hunt on May the 8th. And that's all I have right now. I know one of the guys that comments on our stuff a lot on Facebook. I do apologize. I will get the locations of these pens wrote down. I've had a lot going on here lately, and I need to sit down and reorganize my notes and my books and write the locations down on each pen. They're a little hard to remember off the top of my head, so bear with me, buddy. We're going to get it straight. I'm hearing you, and we'll work on that. So, well, I think that pretty well wraps it up. I'll give my shout outs to everybody out there for listening, and we can't do this without y'all. So, everybody that's listening, please share. The more shares we can get, the more we can reach out to it. Like I said, we're working on trying to make a difference here. We're trying to find what exactly we want to work with and do the most, see what we can work towards to do the most to keep this sport alive. There's a presented bill out for Virginia right now that looks pretty scary. I think they're trying to eliminate the open leash law. So they're trying to eliminate the open leash law is pretty much what they're doing in the scheme of things. So hopefully we can fight that. Hopefully these guys can make a push and we can get it saved. So anyway, other than that, all my friends out there at Chestnut Mountain Feed, thank y'all for y'all support, and everybody out there listening. If you haven't gone and checked them out, please go and check them out. They are the best people to work with. So if you need a good supplier for your dog food, go talk to Christina and Johnny. Get them to hook you up. Other than that, guys, that's it. I appreciate everybody listening, bearing with me. on getting through this episode by myself. I do apologize for making it a little boring. I'm sure I got a little long winded in some places. So anyway, thank everybody out there. Hopefully we got some things to come. We got some other stuff in the works right now. We're trying to broaden our horizons and really get our names out there more. So thank you everybody for listening. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Everybody going to the hunts this weekend. Good luck and happy hunting, everybody. Thank you.